There are prayers that will wreck your life. Not because God is cruel, but because you asked for something you weren't ready to receive. Proverbs 18 verse 21 says, "The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit." Life and death. In your mouth. In your words. In your prayers. Most people treat prayer like it's harmless. Like words thrown into the air that may or may not land. But Scripture is clear. Your words have weight. Your prayers have consequences. And some prayers, once prayed, set in motion things you cannot stop. Let me tell you what I mean. There's a prayer that sounds spiritual, holy, even. God, break me. Humble me, Lord. Do whatever it takes to make me more like Jesus. Do you know what you just asked for? You asked for suffering. You asked for stripping. You asked for the fire. And God, in His faithfulness, will answer that prayer. But not the way you imagined. Job prayed for integrity, and God allowed everything to be taken from him. His children, his wealth, his health, his reputation, everything, to prove that Job's faithfulness wasn't conditional, that his worship wasn't transactional. Job got what he prayed for, integrity tested and proven, but the cost was devastating. David prayed to be a man after God's own heart, and God gave him that. But the path to becoming that man included adultery, murder, a son's betrayal, and a plague that killed 70,000 people. The consequences of his sin followed him for the rest of his life. David became a man after God's own heart. But the refining was brutal. Paul prayed 3 times for God to remove his thorn in the flesh. And God said no, because that thorn kept Paul dependent, kept him humble, kept him aware that it was God's power, not his own, that sustained him. Paul didn't get what he prayed for. He got something better, but it wasn't what he wanted. You see, the problem isn't that God doesn't answer prayers. The problem is that He does. And sometimes, the answer is more than we bargained for. James chapter 4 verse 3 says, "When you ask, you do not receive, because you ask with wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures." But it's not just wrong motives we need to worry about. It's also ignorant prayers, careless prayers, prayers we throw out without understanding what we're actually asking for. Jesus told His disciples in Matthew 20, verse 22, "You don't know what you are asking." They wanted to sit at His right and left hand in His kingdom. They wanted glory. They wanted power. They wanted position. And Jesus said, "Can you drink the cup I am going to drink?" They said yes, confidently, carelessly, without understanding. They had no idea what that cup contained. Suffering, rejection, betrayal, crucifixion. They thought they were asking for a throne. They were actually volunteering for a cross. And here's the terrifying part. God will let you have what you ask for, even if it destroys you. Israel asked for a king. God warned them, told them a king would oppress them, tax them, take their sons for war and their daughters for servants. But they insisted. So God gave them Saul. And everything God warned about came true. They got what they prayed for, and it ruined them. Jonah prayed for death. "Take my life, Lord, for it is better for me to die than to live." And God didn't take his life. But He let Jonah sit in his misery until he learned that his anger was misplaced and his perspective was wrong. Elijah prayed for death under a broom tree. "I have had enough, Lord. Take my life." And instead of granting that prayer, God sent an angel to feed him and strengthen him because Elijah's work wasn't finished. Sometimes God answers our prayers. Sometimes He ignores them because He knows better. And sometimes He lets us have exactly what we ask for so we can learn the hard way that we didn't actually want it. Psalm 106 verse 15 says this about Israel, He gave them their request, but sent leanness into their soul. Read that again. He gave them what they wanted, but their souls became empty, hollow, malnourished, because what they wanted wasn't what they needed. You can get everything you prayed for and lose yourself in the process. So let me ask you, what are you praying for right now? Have you thought about the cost? Have you considered what it will actually take to answer that prayer? You're praying for patience. Do you realize that patience is developed through tribulation? Romans 5 verse 3. Suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance produces character. You want patience? God's going to give you situations that require it. You're praying for faith. Do you understand that faith is built in the fire? 1 Peter 1 verse 7. Your faith is tested by fire so that it may prove genuine. You want stronger faith? Get ready for circumstances that force you to trust God when nothing makes sense. You're praying for humility. Be careful. God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble. And the path to humility often runs through humiliation, through failure, through public embarrassment, through situations where you have no choice but to admit you're not enough. You want to be humble? You're about to be brought low. You're praying for ministry, for influence, for platform. Do you know what comes before honor? Brokenness, pruning, obscurity. Years in the wilderness where nobody knows your name and nothing you do seems to matter. Moses spent 40 years in the desert before God used him. Joseph spent years in prison before he ruled Egypt. David spent years running from Saul before he sat on the throne. You want ministry? Get ready to be hidden, to be tested, to be refined in the dark where no one is watching. You're praying for more of God. Be very careful with that one, because more of God means less of you. It means death to self. It means surrender. It means giving up control of your life, your plans, your desires, your reputation, everything. Acts chapter 9. Saul encounters Jesus on the road to Damascus. And Jesus doesn't just save him. He blinds him, strips him of his identity, renames him, redirects his entire life. Saul wanted to serve God, and God answered. But the cost was everything Saul thought he was. More of God is wonderful, but it will cost you everything. Here's what most people don't understand. God is not a genie. Prayer is not a transaction. You can't just speak things into existence and expect God to rubber stamp whatever you decided you wanted. Yes, your words have power. Yes, life and death are in the tongue. But that power is not independent of God's will. That power operates within His sovereignty. James 4 verse 15 says, "Instead, you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that." If it is the Lord's will, not I declare, not I claim, not I decree. If it is the Lord's will, and sometimes the Lord's will is to say no, or not yet, or yes, but not the way you expected. So what does this mean? Should you stop praying? Should you be afraid to ask God for anything? No, but you need to pray with wisdom, with reverence, with an understanding that you're talking to a holy God who sees the end from the beginning and knows what you actually need, not just what you think you want. Jesus taught us how to pray. Matthew 6. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Your will, not mine. Your kingdom, not mine. Your way, not mine. That's the prayer. Surrender, submission, trust. Even when I don't understand. Even when it's not what I wanted. Even when it costs me more than I thought. Gethsemane. Jesus prayed, "Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done." If it is possible, let this cup pass. He didn't want to go to the cross. He was fully human. He felt the weight of what was coming. And he asked if there was another way. But then he said the most important words, "Not my will, but yours." That's the model. That's the heart posture. That's the prayer that's always safe to pray. So yes, be careful what you pray for. Be thoughtful. Be intentional. Don't throw words around carelessly. Don't make declarations you don't understand. Don't ask for things just because they sound spiritual. Count the cost. Consider the consequences. And always submit your prayers to God's will. Because some prayers, once answered, will change your life forever. And you can't take them back. Proverbs 30 verses 8 and 9. Agur prays, "Give me neither poverty nor riches, but give me only my daily bread. Otherwise, I may have too much and disown you and say, 'Who is the Lord?' Or I may become poor and steal, and so dishonor the name of my God. Give me neither poverty nor riches, just what I need." Because Agur understood something most people don't. Too much can destroy you just as easily as too little. He didn't pray for abundance. He didn't pray for breakthrough. He didn't pray for overflow. He prayed for balance, for sufficiency, for just enough. Because he knew himself. He knew his weaknesses. And he knew that getting everything he wanted might be the worst thing that could happen to him. That's wisdom. That's maturity. That's someone who understands that God's will is better than their own desires. So before you pray for that relationship, ask yourself, am I ready for the responsibility that comes with it? Am I mature enough to steward it well? Before you pray for that financial breakthrough, ask yourself, will I stay faithful when I don't need God to provide anymore? Will money become my God? Before you pray for that ministry opportunity, ask yourself, am I willing to be broken, refined, and hidden first? Can I handle the pressure that comes with influence? Before you pray for God to break you, ask yourself, do I actually understand what I'm asking for? Am I ready to lose everything I'm holding on to so God can rebuild me? Because God will answer. And when He does, it might not look like you thought. It might hurt more than you imagined. It might take longer than you expected. It might cost you more than you were willing to pay. But if it's God's will, it will be worth it. Even if you can't see that in the moment. Ecclesiastes 5 verse 2 says, "Do not be quick with your mouth. Do not be hasty in your heart to utter anything before God. God is in heaven and you are on earth. So let your words be few." Let your words be few. Don't be hasty. Don't be careless. Don't throw prayers around like confetti and expect God to honor every whim. Be intentional. Be thoughtful. Be surrendered. And if you don't know what to pray, pray this, "Your will, Lord. Whatever it takes. Shape me. Mold me. Use me. But let it be according to your will, not mine." That's the safest prayer you can pray, because it puts the outcome in God's hands, where it belongs. And it acknowledges that He knows better than you do. So yes, be careful what you pray for, not because God is waiting to trick you, but because He's faithful enough to give you what you ask for, even if it's not what you actually need. And sometimes, the most dangerous prayers are the ones God answers.